Good morning, all. Are we live? You can indicate if you can hear me so that I can be sure. Okay. Without further ado, I would like to welcome us to another session. We are currently 8 participants in the session, and I would like us to probably grow to like 20 or 30 before we fully start the session. So, as we discussed among the organizers, the target or the aim of this series of webinars is for us to be able to prepare ourselves for the next cycle of scholarship applications. So our scholars might also get busy when the semesters start, as from August or September. So we decided that it is best for us to organize and do what we can within June and July. So we have series of webinars that are going to come up as well. Now, this is also going to be recorded. So for those who might not be able to join us, I'm sure we have like our Christian brethren. They might not be able to join us, so we'll give them the recording. But sometimes having the live, having access to watch it live is actually the best of it. So we're going to have, is my voice still clear?
Yeah.
We're going to have about 3 to 4 people that are going to speak to us. So please and please let us listen attentively. I always suggest that we have our pen and papers with us, because this is going to be like a masterclass, in the sense that it is going to be a hands-on training. And the target or the aim is, after we are done with all the presentations, we would be able to reduce the contact or reduce the number of questions that we might end up asking our scholars. And also, the overall aim is, when it comes to next application cycle, we should see a lot of congratulations. Now, from my understanding of scholarship applications, only a few scholarship applications have much to do with your CV, with your class of degree, maybe first class, second class, upper. Some are specifying that you have to be such, but there are cases where you can be an exception, and it's your documents that will speak out for you, which is the essence of having this webinar. That's the first thing. Then the next webinars we are going to have are now going to be the ones that are related to some of the applications. Some of them need some breakdown on how to approach the application and all of that. So that is what our next webinars are going to be for. Now, time is already running. We are currently 18 so I think we can actually start. The aim is, if we can get a few people to be successful, you cannot help everybody. That's one thing with respect to some of these kind of things. So only serious participants are the ones that end up benefiting from programs like this. Without further ado, I would like to present to us our first presenter in person of, I don't know how to pronounce this, your school. We have our scholar Mahmoud Muhammad Sani from Kocaeli University in Turkey. He's a Turkey Buslari scholar. So he's going to be presenting to us on how to organize your CV. And to be very honest with you guys, I am a recipient of, last year there was a webinar like this, and it changed the game entirely for me. I was able to come up with some, I don't know, when you see CVs and you don't believe that, okay, I don't think this CV is going to present me, and you're even scared to submit them. That's how good my CV turned out to be because of this masterclass. So I never actually got to thank Mr. Mahmoud. So this is my chance to thank him. Mr. Mahmoud, thank you very much. Your masterclass last year is what brought me to where I currently am right now. And I have used that to also guide a few friends to get some scholarships as well. So I believe this will ginger our participants today to want to learn more from this person. Please pick your pen and paper. And I would like us to mute ourselves. Mute your voice, mute your video so your face does not show, and that will give our presenter the opportunity to um, focus in his presentation, and also the audience would also be able to put in their mind 100%. So, Mr. Mahmoud, the floor is yours. Thank you very much.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zaidu. I really appreciate your kind words. Inshallah, I hope many other scholars will be able to benefit from this interesting webinar. And thank you very much for the committee of the TSS Scholarship Mentorship Group for organizing this webinar. My name is Mahmoud Mahamasani, as my boss Zaidu has said already, and I am a software engineering master student in Kocaeli University here in Turkey. And last year, I was able to secure the fully funded Turkey Bursary Scholarship. And today, we are going to present a webinar or a masterclass on how to design a scholarship, not just a CV, but a scholarship awarding CV. So I hope we are all ready for this interesting session. All right, let me start by sharing my screen. I think we don't have access to share the screen, right? I don't know if Oga Bakari can do something about that.
You can share your screen like that. You can now.
All right. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Yes, we can. Yeah.
All right. All right. So as I said earlier, this is not just a CV development class. This is a scholarship winning academic CV masterclass. So I'm going to take you through the processes and the requirements of a scholarship winning CV. What do you need to do? What do you need to avoid in your CV? All right. So first of all, I'll start by learning objectives of this webinar. One is we understand what an academic CV is and how it differs from a job CV. And number two is how to build an internationally competitive scholarship CV from scratch, and how to tailor your CV for different scholarship and programs, how to identify and avoid the most common CV mistakes, how to use AI tools like GPT and Cloud to create a professional LaTeX CV, and how to convert a Word CV into a polished PDF, and how to apply best practices followed by scholarship winning applicants. Okay, so curriculum vitae, that's CV. It's from Latin, meaning course of life. It's a comprehensive document summarizing your academic and professional life, used by universities and scholarship committees to evaluate applicants, and serves as the executive summary of your entire application. It validates the achievements described in your essays and reference letters. So, and your CV, generally, it contains information about your education, your research, your experience, your volunteer activity, the skills you have, your publications, your awards, and leadership experience you have. So, in the next coming slides, I'm going to take you through how to organize these sections in your CV in an orderly manner. So, what's the difference between a job CV and an academic CV? When we say a CV, people usually mistake it for the job seeking CV. And there are some situations whereby scholars might submitted a job CV for an academic scholarship, which is totally wrong because the two of them are entirely different. A job CV and an academic CV are two different things. So, what is the purpose of a job CV? Is to get a job or a promotion. What is the purpose of an academic CV? Is to win scholarship or academic admission. Who are the audience? For a job CV, you are sending your CV to an HR, that is human resource and hiring managers. And for academic CV, you are sending it to professors and scholarship committees. So you know that a CV that a professor is going to examine and a CV that the hiring manager is going to examine is actually different. What is the length of the CV? For job CV is 1 to 2 pages maximum, and academic CV is like 1 to 2, depending on the scholarship committee. Sometimes it might even to 10 pages CV. I have seen a professor's CV that's around 10 pages with a lot of publications and conferences. In a job CV, you don't usually include your research experience. In an academic CV, it is a must. And in a job CV, publication is not needed. And an academic CV is a must, especially for PhD applicants. In a job CV, your teaching experience doesn't really matter. In an academic CV, it is important, especially for teaching assistant and mentoring roles. In a job CV, there's at least 3 professional referees, and in academic CV, it's mostly not needed in the CV because your referees are included in the application you are doing at that moment. In the awards, for the award section, in a job CV, you can actually include your achievements in that particular area of work. But in an academic CV, you only include academic awards, grants, and fellowships. How is the formatting? For a job CV, you create a creative and visual acceptable format. For academic CV, it's actually clean, simple, and ATS friendly. Customization, tailored per job posting, and for academic CV, is tailored per application criteria. For example, this is very important. If you're applying for a Erasmus Mundus scholarship, you know, they are using the Europa CV, which is quite different from the normal CV, normal academic CV. So while applying for another scholarship like KFPM or Turkiye Salary, you can't really use the Europa CV because that's a different requirement. So we are going to see this through the next coming slides. So why does CV matters? CV carries 10 to 20% of the overall scholarship assessments influenced by your CV. It includes academic excellence, your GPA awards and honors. It includes your community engagement, your volunteering, your NGO work and outreach. It includes research proposal, career progression, research
Mr. Ali,
publication,
please mute
methodology.
yourself.
Can you hear me?
Mr. Ali, please mute yourself. We can hear you, but there's some background noise.
I've mute him already. So you can continue.
Continue.
All right. Leadership and overall competitiveness. So for an application, for a scholarship application, a 10 to 20% of the overall scholarship assessment is very, very important because most of the scholarship committee or the professors, they only have 10 to 20 seconds to look at your CV. And if they didn't see anything catching, if there's nothing interesting about your CV, it's an automatic dismissal because just 10 seconds, it only took 10 seconds for a professor to assess your CV. That is why it's very important to organize your CV in a very clean and acceptable format. Just imagine applying for KFPM and then you are using Europa CV. The moment the professor or whosoever open that CV and see it in the Europass format, you are done. No matter how good your CGPA is, no matter how good your publications are, no matter how excellent you are done for that scholarship. So, anatomy of a winning CV, what to include and what to never include. For the first and most foremost thing to include in your CV is your full name, and it should be a formal name. There's nothing like nickname. It should be your full name. If your name is Abdullah Muhammad Awal, it should be Abdullah Muhammad Awal. Don't use Abdullah Muhammad and omit the awal. It should be your full name as it is in your passport. And if they are calling you Dan Mama in home, like Abdullah Muhammad, and you are known as Dan Mama, don't include that in your CV. It is not formal. Your professional email address. By this professional email address, it should be your name at gmail.com or at Yahoo or at whatsoever.com, your surname. If your name is, let's say, for example, I am Mahmoud Muhammad Sani, so I use Sani Mahmoud Muhammad or Mahmoud Muhammad Sani at gmail.com. Use your full name at gmail.com. Don't use badboy at rogaboy.gmail.com. It's not professional. Use a very professional email address. Your phone number with the country code, your city and country of residence, LinkedIn profile URL, Google Scholar profile, RC ID. If you're a researcher and you have RC ID, you can use it. GitHub portfolio or website, nationality, if required only. Okay, what are things you shouldn't include in your CV? Your religion or denomination, your marital status, your tribe or ethnic group, your blood group, your passport photo, age or date of birth, your gender, salary history, or your relationship status. These are things that you should never include in your CV because they are not relevant and they are not needed. The next is we are still in the anatomy of a winning CV. These are the core sections of a CV. Number one is your professional profile. You should include a 3-line summary of who you are, what you do, and what you seek. It's just like a gap or a bridge between the past, the present, and the future. What you did in your past, what you are currently doing, your research, and what you aim to achieve in the future. Then your education, your degree, university, GPA, thesis, supervisor name, expected graduation date or the graduation dates, followed by your research experience. And for the research experience, you have to use bullet points for describing the type of research you did. For that, it is always advisable to use the STAR method: situation, task, action, and the results for each and every experience you had or a job you did for your research. We are going to see that in action soon. Then your publications, the journal paper, conference papers, preprints, book chapters, or whatsoever you did, you can include them in your CV. It shouldn't have to be a complete publication. Even if you have a preprint paper, you can include them. Then your awards and honors, dean list, research grant, competition, fellowship, or whatsoever you have. Don't play with an award. If you have an award, as far as it's an academic award, include it in your CV. There is no award that is too little, and there's no award that is too big. Don't be humble when you during this in this award session. That's what I always say, that never be humble when it comes to award. No matter how little your award is included, it's very, very important. Then your teaching experience, your leadership experience, those that are participants of Aluta during university time. If you once an Aluta guy and probably you had a leadership experience, maybe an SG president or a treasurer or I don't know, whatsoever, you can include it and mention the impacts you had on the student's life at that role, at that situation. This is important for scholarships such as Erasmus Mundus and let's say Commonwealth Scholarship, Queen Elizabeth, Chevening. You once had a position, and during that time, you did something interesting that impacts students' life in a positive manner. You should please include this in your CV. It is very, very good. In fact, there are some scholarships that actually value leadership experience more than academic CGPA and academic excellence. Scholarships like Chevening and Queen Elizabeth, they value more leadership skills than academic excellence. So it's very important. Then your technical skills, your programming skills, AI or machine learning skills, cloud data lab, or maybe you have some skill in the lab for chemicals, chemistry students, or you are a mathematics student, you can do math labs and stuff like that. You can include them in your CV too. It's very important. Okay, so let's move forward. Then your work experience. For those that have work experience, it is very important and it's very good to include it in your CV. The industry you work for, whether it's an industry job or it's an internship or it's a graduate assistantship, include it in your CV. And there's for a Nigerian student, it's usually this NYSC job experience is very important. If you have an experience with NYSC, include it as a work experience because it is a work experience. 1 year NYSC experience is very important. If you are here to do your NYC, make sure that you find a place that you'll gain very good experience because that might be a life-changing opportunity for you. That might be a door to explore more opportunities in the future. So don't joke with that. Volunteer experience, any projects, any certification online or physical, any conferences, professional memberships, any languages. If you speak different languages, you can actually include them in your CV. If you have any IELTS or TOEFL scores, you can include them in your CV if you like, but it's not actually compulsory. These are just some additional requirements. These are just additional, how can I call it? It's not really needed for a CV. Without them, you still have your full CV, but it's an addition. Then references. This is not really needed for academic CV. It's not really needed. So I always advise students to like just do not include your references because if you're applying for a scholarship, you already need that references in the school application portal. So it's not necessary to include it again in your academic CV. I think it is not needed. But for some, they might require it. So it depends on the situation and the scholarship type. So there are things that should never appear in your CV. Not, don't even try it. Like it should never appear in your CV, no matter what you do, because these are very red, what we call red flags. A red flag is something that, like, whenever it is spotted, then your chances of being rejected is like 90%. So these are things. Number one is fancy colors and graphics. As I said earlier, your CV should be very simple and appealing. You shouldn't go and do something complex and complicated. Waste your time adding colors, animations, and everything. It's not needed. Your CV should be like simple and professional. Long paragraph description, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines describing a job experience or I don't know. Long paragraph description is not needed. 1 to 2, maximum is 2 line bullets bullet list needed for describing a job experience or a research experience. But 3, 4, 5, 6 paragraphs is not needed and it is prohibited. Irrelevant hobbies like swimming, listening to music, watching movies is not needed. Do not include it in your CV. Salary history, primary or secondary school. Some people usually do this mistake. And I actually was one of those people because when I started creating my CV, I included my secondary school and my primary school. It's not needed. You always start from your undergraduate level for postgraduate scholarships. Perhaps there are some scholarships, probably those applying for bachelor's degree scholarship. That one they might include it because they are applying for bachelor's. They already don't have any research experience. They already don't have an undergraduate certificate. So they can include their primary or secondary school certificates and the results obtained from these schools. Don't include fake or unverified achievements because it severely damages your credibility if you are caught. If you are not the best student in your department, if you are not the best student in your school, do not say you are. If you haven't did any project, do not include it in your CV because they will get you. They will ask you during interview. And if you fail to explain well, you'll be exposed and your credibility will be severely damaged. And even if you apply again, probably they might tag you as a scammer and you'll miss other opportunities. Typos and grammatical errors, you have to be very careful with the typing errors you do. Emojis is not needed. Don't include any emoji in your CV. Using one CV for every application. That is one of the most greatest mistakes that we do. Every application requires different form of CV. If you're applying for this scholarship, the requirement is different for another scholarship. Even if you are applying within one central department, let's say computer science department, some CV, some applications, some scholarships are looking for students with experience in computer vision. Others are looking for students with experience in cybersecurity. Others are looking for students with experience in machine learning. So based on specifications of a scholarship, that is how we are going to create your CV and tailor it toward that specific scholarship requirement. There are things we call keyword in a scholarship requirement. You have to be careful. If a scholarship is, if a call or a scholarship is looking for students with experience in computer vision, machine learning, deep learning, so in your CV, try and include these keywords in your CV so that even if they're using ATS software, you will be able to scale through the first screening phase. Because if they are looking for a student with experience in computer vision and you include artificial intelligence, the software or the human evaluator won't select you because even though computer vision is part of AI, but you are not specific, you are not detailed. So that is why it is very, very harmful using one CV for every application. In most cases, people apply for many scholarships and they will get rejected. Why? Because they are using one single CV for each of the applications they are applying. And this is how can I call it? It's an automatic rejection. You will never get it with this kind of situation. So we should learn to tailor our CV for each and every application we are going to do. Excessive personal details, low quality icons, tables with borders. This should all be avoided and should never appear in an academic CV. Moving forward. Tailoring your CV for each scholarship. That's what I told you earlier. One CV does not fit all. Every scholarship has unique criteria. Your CV must speak directly to each program's values. If you are applying for a PhD scholarship, your focus should be on research experience, your publications, methodology, and the supervisor alignment. This supervisor alignment is very, very important. You have to research the supervisor you're applying for, you wanted to work under. You have to look at his ongoing researches and see if it aligns with your previous or current research experience. If not, you are wasting your time because supervisor would like to work with a student that is already on his track, a student that is already working on the same path as him. If you're applying for a master's scholarship, the focus is mostly on academic excellence, GPA, research potential, and career goals. Example, Chevening, Erasmus Mundus, and the rest. If you're applying for research internship, the focus is mostly on technical skills, lab experience, your projects, very important project, and the relevant tools that you can work with. Example is Dadwise and Amgin or any other internship call that are available within LinkedIn, Indeed, and several other websites. If you apply for teaching fellowship, the focus is mostly on teaching experience, your mentoring, curriculum development, and the rest. Example is Fulbright teaching, ETAS. If you're applying for any AI or tech position or any other professional position, the focus is usually GitHub publication, code, open source AI frameworks, or any other. If you're applying to any other field other than AI, the focus should be on your previous experiences in that field, your internship, the project you have done within that field, or any other experience you had working on that field. Extract keywords from the application requirements and reflect them naturally in your CV description. Like I said earlier, you have to extract the keywords in that scholarship requirement and include them in your CV description. Okay, next is why scholarship CVs get rejected. Number one of the reasons why scholarships get rejected, scholarship CV, is number one, weak or vague achievements, no numbers, no impact, no evidence. You said that you mentored students during your undergraduate studies, and these students were able to get scholarships, but you failed to mention how many students did you mentor, and what percentage got the scholarship. It should be very detailed. I mentored 150 students, and like 15% or 50% of this are now studying abroad, or I don't know. So you should actually include numbers. You should include evidence. You should include the impact you made. It should be like detailed. I mentored exactly this number, and this percentage from this number are currently doing their studies abroad, or are currently doing this. You have to be specific. For poor formatting and layout, too many or too few pages, grammar and spelling mistakes, irrelevant content included, no research experience, no leadership evidence, no volunteer community work, generic untailed CV, missing hyperlinks or contacts, wrong section ordering, and no qualified impact. I want to highlight on this no volunteer or community work. Volunteering is very, very important. Volunteer is very, very important. It shows that you are a humanitarian and you actually do give back to the community. And one of the things that the scholarship committee actually value the most is they want to invest on a person that will give back to the community he is from. And by doing volunteering activities, it shows that at an early stage, you are already giving back to your community. That is, if you are invested on, you will eventually go back to your community and make an impact. So please and please do not joke with this volunteer activity or community work. It is very, very important. Very, very important. And then academic CV best practices. Okay, we have been trying to discuss what are the do's and don'ts of an academic CV, but what are the best practices to do in your academic CV? Number one is use reverse chronological order. Chronological order, that is most recent things first. If you receive a master's degree, then followed by your bachelor's degree, then followed by your diploma. The thing that should be first is your recent degree, which is your master's. You got your master's in 2025, you include it as first thing. Don't start with your latest, like the oldest one, your diploma. No, start with the most recent master's degree, 2025. Then you go to your bachelor's degree, let's say 2020 or 2022. Then your diploma 2018 or 2019. That is how it should be in a chronological order. First thing first. Then keep formatting 100% consistent throughout. If you're using like a specific text font at the first page, the second page, third page, and the last page should be that specific text formatting. If you're using Times New Romans, it should be Times New Roman throughout that CV. Inconsistent formatting is a red flag that you should avoid at all risk, at all time. You should never use inconsistent formatting. If you're using a specific key font, text font, maintain that text font throughout your academic CV. Not only academic CV, even in academic essays, SOPs. If you start with a specific key font, text size, maintain it throughout that segment. Number three is quantify every achievement with numbers and impact. As I said earlier, if you mentored like 200 students, make sure that that 200 students is mentioned in your CV. That is how they're going to know that, yeah, this is actually a very um, real impact, not just created one that doesn't exist. Because don't forget, these people are actually, they're actually looking through thousands of CVs. And if you use AI to generate a random CV, don't forget Mr. B to also use AI to generate that random CV. And AI is trained based on data, same data. So the same thing that he's generating for you is like 70% exactly the same thing he's going to generate to the other person. So by being specific and being unique, you're going to stand out. And don't forget, the most important thing in an academic scholarship, in an academic environment is stand out. Stand out and be unique from others. That's the most important thing. The number four is start every bullet with a strong action verb, developed, developed a software that blah, 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 encouraged, mentored, tutored, a very strong action verb. Number five is prioritize academic accomplishment over everything. That's what I said earlier. Do not be humble when it comes to your academic accomplishment. Sell yourself out. Keep links updated and clickable all the time. It should be in blue and underlined format. Always export as PDF. Never submit a docs document in your academic CV. Never submit a docs format. Always submit a PDF format. Name your file as your first name, last name, then CV, then the year. Let's say Mahmoud Sani CV 2026. And this first name, in between them, there's an underscore. So your first name followed by an underscore, last name followed by underscore, CV underscore, then the year. That shows that you know what you are doing and your CV is updated and up to date. Maintain one master CV and create a third version. This is very simple. You have one master CV you are using, and then you can create tailored version for different applications. But then your master CV is there, which includes your academic achievement, your degrees, your academic experiences, your working experiences and everything. But then from that master CV, you can create several other tailored CV based on different applications. Because the thing is that in this scholarship journey, you will need to apply to many scholarships before you get one. You'll apply to 20, 25, 30, 50. I don't really remember the number of applications I did before I secured one, the one I am currently. I applied to many scholarships. I received many rejections. I stopped counting. I created many CVs. If I look at my first CV and look at my current CV, I will laugh. Even if I am an evaluator, I will not pick myself with that CV. So there's need to always improve yourself with time, keep applying, keep updating your CV all the time. Then proofread at least 3 times before submitting. Or if you can even send it to somebody that, okay, please, can you take a look at my CV and I want to hear your advice or your feedback. If you like, you can use AI. You just copy the scholarship requirements, paste it, upload your CV to AI and say, okay, I'm applying to this scholarship and this is my CV. Please, can you rate it over 10? ChatGPT will clearly look at your CV and will give you a suggestion on what to do and what not to do in your CV, and it will give you rating. Most of the times, if I didn't get like 9 over 10 or 8.5 over 10 in my CV, I don't apply to scholarships. I have to make sure that an AI rates my CV as 9 over 10 or 8.5 over 10. Then I will know that, yeah, this is a very good scholarship. That's CV I'm submitting. Then I'll submit that CV. If not, I will have to go and do the correction given by that AI and re-upload again until I get my desired score. I will never submit a CV that is below 7 over 10. So I'm giving you this as the free gift. If you have a CV and you want to submit it to a scholarship, you want to use it to apply for scholarship, first copy that scholarship requirement, or if it's a popular scholarship like Chevening or Erasmus Mundus, tag the specific scholarship name. Or it's like the most important is just copy the scholarship requirements and the description, then upload it to your CV, and you ask ChatGPT as a professional CV creator or developer or an accessor whatsoever that he should assist you in scaling your CV over 10 and tell you the area for improvement. ChatGPT is going to give you a detailed description of what you did and what you need to change in your CV and the score of that CV. So it's very important. Update your CV after every 3 months as you achieve more. We already talked about that. Then we are going to move to the practical class of creating a CV. We are starting with a Word CV. Then we're going to upload it to AI. Then we use the engineered prompts for us. The purpose of this is to create a LaTeX format CV. A LaTeX format CV is different from a PDF CV because it looks more professional. And I'm going to tell you, these people are professors. They are working with publications. They are working with research. They have published numerous papers. A CV spot LaTeX when he sees one. Like a professor, the moment he looks at a CV, he knew that this is LaTeX CV from just one glance because he has been working with CV since from the beginning of his career, last 20 years ago. So the moment he just grab a look at the CV that is LaTeX, you know this CV is LaTeX. And a LaTeX CV shows that this guy is actually very good. Number one, he knows how to code. Number two, if he can write a CV in LaTeX, then he can do research. That's because most of the research papers or publications are actually done in LaTeX, some of them. So we are going to use Overleaf for this, and we are going to use ChatGPT. We are going to run the code and export our final PDF LaTeX format CV. It's going to be like a
Before
workshop.
we get started, Mahmoud, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, due to time factor, I don't know if it's possible for you to do this in like 10 minutes to 15 minutes max.
Yeah, it is it's possible.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, I didn't know that time has went like this. Okay, let me be fast. So this is the prompt we have here. We are going to use this prompt, blah blah blah. I don't have time to read it, but we are going to use this prompt. Then these are the templates for LaTeX CV. There's awesome CV, modern CV, alter CV, 20-second CV, render CV. These are different templates you can play with. I'm going to share this document after this class. You just have to look at it and choose one you like and play around with it. So there are many tools to improve your CV. As I said earlier, ChatGPT is my favorite one. I use ChatGPT all the time. There's Claude, Anthropic Claude. There's Gemini. There's Perplexity, Grammarly, Overleaf, GitHub Copilot. All has their usage. You can see here. We don't have time. The scholarship reviewers mindset. Okay. While scanning your CV, reviewers ask these questions. Is this applicant academically strong? They look at your GPA, award, honors, academic record. Do they have genuine research potential? Can they represent our institution globally? Are they a future leader in their field? Have they demonstrated community impact? I explained this earlier. Do achievement match their stated career goals? Very important. So now we are going to move. I don't know if anybody has question before we proceed. I don't know if Zaidu, can we do questions now or after?
No, we'll do question after.
All
Yeah.
right. So I don't
For
know.
those that have questions, that they should document it somewhere.
Okay. So I don't know if somebody should volunteer and send his CV so that we work on it. If anybody in the group has a CV PDF format, should send it. We are going to use that one because I don't think I have any PDF CV here with me.
I'll,
Somebody should send us this PDF CV.
the first person to drop a CV on the group will have his own for free to be adjusted.
Yeah. Yeah, I see somebody sending a CV. Oh, my network is not loading.
The first person would be Musab, the one in the mentorship group.
All right. Okay. Um, is it Musab? I'm seeing Said Abdullah.
Musab deleted his own. So the next person will be Mujib in the scholarship group. You would see Mujib CV. I think that was the
All
one you
right.
opened initially. Yeah.
All right. So we are going to copy this prompt here we have here. So I'm going to copy this prompt, then paste it here, my ChatGPT, and include that CV I just downloaded. Awesome. All right, so I'm gonna add it to GPT for the code. It's working on it. You see, like GPT has now given us the requirements are the need for improvement for the CV. If you look at this, you can see that it's a suggestion made by ChatGPT on how to improve the CV. So, all right. So now it has generated the prompt for us. Now I'm gonna copy this prompt to generate the latex code now. Okay, I paste this code here and then upload the CV. Gonna paste it like that. Okay. Sorry. I will say generated latex code for that. I think I made mistake with the prompt, so generates based on your ability. Sorry, guys, I think I made a mistake actually. So for the prompt, there's a mistake somewhere. I'm going to rewrite the prompt again, and so here's our latex code generated by ChatGPT. We are going to use this code to create a latex format CV using Overleaf. So I'm going to copy this code now and went to Overleaf, overleaf.com. If you don't have an account, you create one. Okay. So I'm gonna create a new project, blank project. I'm going to create it, name it as TSS CV Masterclass. I'm going to create, as you can see, it will generate a template for you with your name, with the name of the project and the name of the author and the date. So I'm going to clean it because I don't need it. I'm going to clean everything, then paste my ChatGPT generated AI code. You can see it has generated around 346 lines of code for our CV. That's very massive. Then we recompile, inshallah. So you can see it has generated a clean CV for us, clean latex CV. But this is not actually the best CV to do because I made a mistake. I'm very sorry. The prompt was error. There's an error in my prompt. So because of that, it couldn't generate a very wonderful CV. But at least this is a very clean and optimized CV. This is a latex CV. As you can see, even the font text, the font style is different from the one with a normal PDF CV. And it includes the numbering system for us. Everything is just very good. So we can download this CV by clicking this download button here, and we can view our CV here. So yeah, it's something you can actually play with time. You become master in it, but this is just the basics. You can use any other tool, Gemini, any other AI tool you know if you can use it to create these kind of things. So this brings us to the end of our webinar. I don't know if there are questions. I'm waiting for your
Sorry,
questions, gentlemen. Thank you
sorry,
very
please.
much.
Sorry, please. Can you show the before and after, please?
All right. Yeah, thank you very much. That's very good. So, let me go to my downloads. Okay, this is the CV before. Can you see the CV before? The texts are so long. The texts are little and everything, but this is the CV after. Okay, the issue is that ChatGPT actually tampered with my first prompt. It tampered with the structure of the CV. That's why you can see it like this. But this is the CV after. This is the CV before. Okay, 1 minute. This is CV with latex, and this is a CV after latex. But there's an improvement. You can see ChatGPT actually tampered with it, but still, I think it's better than the first one based on the formatting and the structure of the CV, as we can all see. But this is just a sample. Let me show you guys the ones I usually do. My normal CV. Okay. So this is my CV. Like I use this thing, latex. It gives you the chance to play with, like you can do anything, like basically anything. You can include for these things, icons. You can see icons. You can't do this with normal PDF or text CV. It's very difficult. So yeah, this is how it is. You can just play with ChatGPT and tell him your requirement, tell it your requirement. It's going to generate the code for you. Then you run it. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for this masterclass. Now, for the sake of questions, I would suggest we still keep our questions to ourselves. We have a second presentation, like we said. It is not just one presentation. We have two of our scholars, Mr. Khalid and Mr. Ismail, who are going to give us a breakdown on how to go about preparing letters as well. So you're not just preparing CVs, you also have to prepare some letters. Now you have personal statement, you have statement of purpose, you have letter of motivation, and there are a lot of things, letter of intent, all those things are part of things you prepare for when you're applying for scholarships. So I do not know if they are here with us, Mr. Ismail. As for the slide that we just finished presenting, that Mr. Mahmoud just finished, everyone will get access to, even if you're not on the group. I'm sure you saw this link from somebody's status or whatever, who is part of the group. So you should be able to get access to it. For now, I would like us to finish with all presentations before we get to question session. So we have with us Mr. Ismail, who is a scholar in France, and we have Mr. Khalid, who is a spontaneous scholar. That is the summary I can give you, spontaneous. He has experience in Erasmus Mundus applications, and he is also a successful candidate in one of them. So that's to show you that when it comes to creation of letters, we have the right people for it. Mr. Ismail, are you with us, please?
Good morning. Yes.
So
Should I start
are you going
or
to be
Mr.
presenting,
Khalid will
or
start?
it's going to be verbal?
Hey, I have a slide that I will present,
Okay. Due to time factor,
but
it would be nice if you could time yourself.
okay. Um,
Yes.
Khalid will be presenting SOP and motivation. So I will be presenting cover letter. So his own might be the main presentation of the day. So should I start or he will start?
Mr. Khalid, if you are here, I think you should start since you have more presentation compared to. Are you with us?
Yeah, I'm with you. It's a moment to share my screen.
Yeah, you can share your screen. Please mute yourself. If Mr. Abdullahi Mohammed Song, mute yourself, please. Musa Sati, mute yourself, please. Thank you. Mr. Ahmed, you can continue. For the sake of time,
Okay.
I think we should try and maximize the time we have or minimize. I don't know what's the correct word. Thank you. Please go ahead.
Oh,
Are you here?
I'm here. Share Chrome tab. Can you see my screen?
It's loading from my end. It's not yet on display. Can anybody see the screen?
Still loading.
Still loading? Oh, good.
You can share. Try sharing again. Try sharing again.
Okay. Sorry.
Idris Idu, please mute yourself.
What about now? Allow. Sharing screen as well because the browser.
Is it possible for Mr. Ismail to start then?
Yeah, Mr. Ismail can start.
Okay. Due to the technical issue.
Yeah.
Mr. Ismail, please share your screen for us. Yeah, we can see you on now. You should unmute yourself because it seems we cannot hear you yet.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Ismail, and I will be walking you through cover letters, how to write an effective cover letter for this session. So please, Mr. Zaid, how much time do I have so that I will take note of that?
Let's work with 15 minutes
Okay.
maximum. Yes.
Okay. So once again, let me introduce myself. My name is Ismail Bala, and I will be walking you through cover letters. Although I initially wanted Mr. Khalid to start because it is when you have a defined SOP and motivation letter that you will be able to like write those two letters in like one page cover letter. So basically, cover letter is like we all know what is cover letter. We've been applying for jobs. Maybe after during our NYSC, we may decide to say, okay, we want to apply for a job or a teaching job like that, or maybe an assistant job in any organization or company. You'll be asked to submit your CV and a cover letter. And that cover letter is what we write like a one page, sometimes two page. And you have like your address of the company, and then the title, and then the context of what you are applying for. So that cover letter is like similar to scholarship cover letter. However, in that case, you focus on like your academic and work experience, but in this case, you focus on both academic research experience and also like how suitably you are for the role. So to start with the outline, I will introduce cover letter, why it matters, and how do you write each section, common mistakes to avoid, tailoring your cover letter for either MSc or PhD, and then some takeaways at the end. Okay. So to start with the definition of cover letter, a cover letter is like a one-page document submitted with your graduate school application that introduce you, explain your motivation for applying the program, and it also like makes a compelling case why you are an ideal candidate for that role. Because, okay, why not the recruiters, like maybe the scholarship committee, instead of them to ask you, just submit your CV so that they will go through your CV and see whether you are fit for the role? No. The reason why they ask you of cover letter is like to see whether you can be able to like use the concise essay to explain yourself, tell them what you have in your two-page CV and like why you are like an ideal candidate for the role. So if you are able to convince them in that one-page document, it's even worth more than your CV because many of them reviews like your covers later well. Then after that, they will review your CV to see if you have like the requirement for the role because they are working with like the cover letters for them to like get convinced about you, and then the CV for you to meet the admission requirement of the university. Because even though if professors are willing to accept you to their um, lab or maybe research group, you must also be admissible by the university because we do not set the criteria. The university have their own criteria. Maybe they might say they need someone with 2 years of experience, a 4-year bachelor's degree, and then they look at your CV, they see a diploma or something like that, or you have a master's and you're applying for master's role. So that will also uh, set you maybe not an ideal for the admission. So for statement of purpose and personal statement, it will be explained more in detail by Khalid, but like for cover letter, it's like a concise, targeted pitch, and it focus on fits between you and the program. Usually, it's one page. You shouldn't bother about writing more than one page for a cover letter unless it is required for the role, because what matters in your academic presentation is not about how the length of your writing is like about the quality of your writing. So just like me now, I don't like I may not like be writing a lot of things on my cover letter also. So I will always target a one-page cover letter for any kind of position. So just like in file, you could see for like several years for MSc, they've been telling us not to write exceed one page statement of purpose. So you could see like to tell you that no matter how good you are or how well you can write, if you can be able to express yourself in that one page and make yourself like an ideal candidate for the role, so you'll be able to get it. So because if you like decide to like write much, you may end up going out of context and repeating things from your CV and other things which are not required. Because if you are writing much in cover letter, you may be saying things that are supposed to be from your statement of purpose or personal statement, which of course is not what is required in a cover letter. So each of them has their own uh, let me see, each of these letters have its own purpose and where you should use it for. Because there are so many letters, honestly. At some point, you even like got stock of what to write and what not to write. So you have to like take your time, breathe in and out, and then write the proper AC that they requested. So why do cover letters matters? Your cover letter is often the first thing on an admission committee read. I told you that because most of these admission committee, go through your covers letters first. If they found that like, okay, you may be suitable for the role, then they will have a look in your CV, because you can't expect them to like sit down and be looking at everyone two-page CV for like more than 500 application. Maybe if they are like having two position in their lab, they will just go through the cover letters and just see what you write. And one thing with about writing, if something is one page, within like a minute, you will be able to have an idea of what that person what is writing. So once they like realize that you are writing something reasonable, they will send it to their printer, or they will save it in another file. So out of that 500 application, they may save up to like 100 or 50. And then they will have another time to come and go through it one after the other. They will shortlist the best 10. They will interview you guys, and then they will select one or two at the end. But usually, if you can be able to make the interview, even though if in the end, unfortunately, you may not get selected, just know that you are very good like in the AC. So what you need to work on more is how you can convince them orally, like to tell them, okay, how you've written so much on what, you send it to reviews to many people in our group, Bakari or Zaid, they review it to you, and then you couldn't defend it during an interview because they won't be there to defend it. You have to be the one to defend it. So please always like try to know the balance between the two as well. So, like I said, first impression matters because most of them, they can't have time to like read 500 or 100 cover letters. They will just look at it. First impression from the title, how you position it, application for a PhD position in material science. Okay, someone write like expression of interest for material, like in maybe in a PhD position for material science or so. So you can see like both of them are saying one thing, but different ways of saying it. And like most of these PI, these professors that advertise for position also, like you realize that they often specify what you should use as your title in your cover letter and your email. So work with what they suggest. Now, immediately, no matter how good you are, if you like use your own different title because you have one cover letter that you design it and you have so many scholars review it and they tell you it's good. So if the PI asks you to use PhD application 2027 and you use expression of interest, that means like you are like not following instruction and they want someone that follows instruction very well. So first impression matters. It tells them how good you are from your opening statement and so. Then you have to demonstrate your feats in that role. What do we mean by that? Like the committees use it to assess whether your goals align with the department research strengths and faculty's expertise. This is why you have to like do a little background check on the department and the faculty to see what they are working on and you align yourself with them. I will give you an example like a graduate of civil engineering. If you study civil engineering in Nigeria, we have like four different fields like structures, water resources, and geotechnical, and then maybe environmental. So when I was looking for scholarship, I was just like, check which field is the professor working. I will just tailor my application to that. So how do you narrow your experience to that? Because it's not possible to have like one cover letter that will fit all these different fields. So you will have to like, okay, go through the faculty website and see what they are working on. Then you come back from your bachelor's, you think of the courses that are aligned with that. And then you start tailoring your application, mentioning those courses, how they have like impact on you. They give you like the motivation to apply for that program. And after that, you can also think of you can also think of your undergraduate project. Like for me now, my undergraduate project was on structures, and my master's is now in like hydrology. So it's two different things, but they are all covered in civil engineering program in Nigeria. So during the interview, I have to like tell them, okay, in Nigeria, you have to do all the four courses, both structures, hydrology, soil, and environmental. Then I told them that, okay, I feel like I'm capable of taking that route as well because I did so many courses on that aspect. And I tried to do a publication on that as well. Even though it's not a very good publication, I just got a predatory journal to publish a review work. So just to like have something to see in that area, because it's not possible for you to have an experience in all the areas. So you have to like find 1 or 2 areas that you are powerful on, and then maybe your CV can be tailored to that areas, and then you put in your efforts on that. So your transcript show what you did, and the cover letter shows who you are and how you think. Now, I won't like advise you to just like be revealing your grade and everything that in your letters, because letters are not meant to repeat your maybe CV or transcript to tell them, okay, I took a course on this which I got A, and another course I got B, which makes me like feel I am more suitable to go for that course also. No, it shouldn't be done that way, because you have to like tell them how suitable you are, and it also reveals how you think. How can you put on your experiences, SOP, motivation letter, personal statement, and everything into an application cover letter? And we will discuss more details about the structure of the cover letter, but just try to also reveal your voice. It's not always about using AI to write your academic essay, because they usually use plagiarism or AI detector softwares to like detect your essays. So just try to use your own words. And if you look at people that succeeded in graduate school, most of them you realize that if you look at their essays, you realize that they tell a story, ask some reasonable questions, and then try to use their own word to tell their own story. And it's okay to make mistake. You can make mistakes. You can ask people to review it for you. That's why the group is there. It's not just for you to sit down and be waiting for links. You have to be the one like to search different universities that are offering what you want to study, the countries, and then you be working on that. I will see someone introducing himself. Okay, I'm Mr. ABC. I want to study masters in civil engineering at maybe King Fahad or Europe. Then later I will be seeing him asking question about Kazakhstan scholarship. I used to be surprised because it doesn't add up. You have to know the difference. It's not like don't apply for any link that you see. Honestly, that's what affected me in my first year. I just say, okay, if I see any link, I will just apply. I just have one CV, one SOP. I was just submitting uploading to all of them. And at the end of the day, you'll be having a lot of rejections. So, which is why it's like very important to know what you want to like work on that. Because one thing that people miss in the beginning of their journey is that there is life after your MSc or your PhD program. How do you like think of that? You just like don't accept any program that doesn't even have connection between where you want to see yourself in the next 5 years. So you have to always be mindful of that. It's not always about like leaving the country. We can do better than that. We can find the right programs so that if we go abroad, we don't like get stranded. You finish your program, you have to come back home and start applying for another program, which is like very, very inappropriate for me, because like I believe if I will leave the country, I will have passed the stage of submitting application for maybe a scholarship. I will just be like thinking of, okay, how do I finish this program, and how do I get a better PhD after that, or work if you are like an industry person. So that's it. And you always do things that differentiate you. If you like ask ChatGPT or you check online samples of cover letter, whatever you see there, thousands of people must have used it. All the admission committees must have used it during their own application in their years. So if you submit it to them, it's just a repetition. You have to always differentiate yourself, even the font style, because it's not always Times New Roman. You can find another font style that is acceptable for academic, like sans serif font, all these areas. If you decide to use it, nobody will question you, except if the PI requested some, it has its own requirement like line spacing, fonts, and maybe like maybe say number of pages that you needed or what. If those things are not listed, you can be unique. Just do what you feel like you can fit. As far as you are doing the right thing, don't be afraid. Because
Yeah.
the most successful people in this world are the risk takers. So you should learn how to take risks, and
Can you
it
are
will
you
work.
with us?
Okay.
We are
So
running out of time. Yeah.
okay. And I will just like use 3 minutes to summarize everything. So this is how the structure is. Maybe I'll share the slide after the program. You can go through it. You have your header, salutation. You know, we did cover letters, how to write a letter in secondary school. Header, salutation, opening paragraph. You have your academic background. You tell them your research interests. Why did you choose the program? Your career goals, long-term and short-term goals. Then you close it with a thank you, and I look forward to your review, or I look forward to an interview. Anyhow you close it, you should just do it in your own way, but just try to follow the formatting and make sure you put yourself as an ideal candidate in your work. So you should always be mindful of the length. Mostly, I don't mind about the what, if unless maybe it is stated in the application requirement, they need 300 to 500 maximum what, then you should be mindful of that. What matters is like the page, how many page you used. If you can use maybe complete one page, your word should be around 3 to 400. But if you use more than one page, then it could go up to 500 words. And then you should use your professional but personal tones. Don't just be using like ChatGPT. I am applying for this role because it's aligned with my career objectives. No, just tell them, okay, I am applying for this because of this. Give them reason for everything you do. And then for opening paragraph, you should know like the way to write opening paragraphs. I am writing to, like, just look at this example. I am writing to apply for the MSc program because I am very interested in it. This is very wrong. So don't just apply because you are interested. Just apply because it matches your short-term goals and long-term goals as well. So you can see like another way to write it. This is like just an example. Your own could be better. Then, okay, you can mention in your academic background, you can mention the program you did, your GPA and rank if possible, relevant coursework or thesis that you did that like gives you a very solid academic background. But everything should be in one paragraph. You shouldn't like take your personal academic background to other paragraphs, because a cover letter, first paragraph is like to tell them the name of the program, why you are applying this and that. Second paragraph, your academic background, like I mentioned in the previous slide. Third paragraph, you tell them, okay, you are applying for this role because you of this and that, and then you tell them how the program is ideal for you and why maybe you choose the program or the school, and then you also add on your career goals like that. I will show you a sample and I can share it in the group, and you can go ahead and look at it, because since we are running out of time. Then research interest and why the program. This is not something like new to you. You all know your research interest right before you are added to the group. I believe you must have been asked your interest. And then the program, you are applying the program because of it aligns with your career objectives, and so, or it is an area that you want to like get the training on or something like that. So you may have so many reasons peculiar to your own the kind of work you are applying. So there are some programs that are meant for you to study and get back to your country. There are some programs that are meant for you to study and give them back in that place. So for example, is that like Erasmus and maybe like Commonwealth, because Erasmus will tell you that, okay, you have to come and we'll train you for 2 years, and you tell us what you will contribute in the European industry and academic area, while Commonwealth will tell you, okay, come, we will train you so that you go back to Nigeria and also train others. So both of them have different mission. If you try to understand the purpose of any program, you know how to write your essays. Don't tell Commonwealth that you want to stay there and build your life. No, they are not poverty alleviation scheme. They are there to help you, train you, give you the leadership skill. Like Mahmoud mentioned, Chevening is like a leadership program. If you tell them a problem from Nigeria, they will award you the scholarship. You go there, you study for 2 years, and you come back and you bring change to your community. So if you are applying for the program, know what is the objective of the program so that you will know how to write your essay. And then these are like mistakes that you avoid. I believe many of these have been spoken by Mahmoud because he told you like not to be using generic template, not to be like using a lot of words that are inappropriate also. But we are running out of them. I will share the slide. Everything is written. You can go through it. And then I will also show you a sample of a cover letter. I just like searched through my gallery and I found it something great. Someone shared it in a scholarship group. I can't remember who is that, but in 1 minute, let me just show you what it does. You can write your contact name, your names, I mean, contact details, email address, the dates you write, and then make sure you address it to the program. Don't just say to whom it may concern, because you are not like giving scholarship to them. They are the one giving it to you. So you have to like address it to them specifically. Make sure you write the title of the professor or like the salutation, everything. If the person is a professor, write professor. If the person is doctor, write doctor. Don't mix like use um the name, the title. Some that are recruiting are not even doctors. They are maybe research assistant in the lab that we are asked to recruit. Don't use doctor, use Mr. in that case. So you see in the first paragraph, the person right, okay, he's applying for the PhD position that was recently advertised, and he mentioned specifically the topic. That means he must have seen the advertisement, and he mentioned the university. He also mentioned a bit about his academic background. So he tried to like focus more on his masters because his masters align with the objective of the PhD research. That's why he has like a section dedicated for his masters. Now, imagine you if you don't have masters, you did an internship. If the internship is like very aligned with the PhD or master's position, you can use the section and dedicate it. Talk more about it because that is like your strength, what you will use to get in. I can decide to use maybe some courses that I got. I will tell maybe how I like the field trips we've done, how I was able to like get a lot of experience taking that course, or if even if it is maybe master's thesis or my undergraduate thesis or internship route, just have something strong that you hold so that you get in. Just like the way our president is sharing spaghetti, he finds some research gap and go through there. So you should also find somewhere to like go through it. Now he
We're running
mentioned
out of
about like
time.
what he okay, I will share the template in the group. And thank you very
Okay.
much for your time.
I really enjoyed the presentation. Sorry for rushing you because
No, no
of the
problem.
time factor.
Yeah, no
So
problem.
I'm sure there are other people on the group who have also benefited one way or another. This was more of a motivational speech. So
Yeah.
we would like to thank you, Mr. Ismail, for this presentation. So without further ado, I'm sure our scholars are still waiting for us. Mr. Khalid, please, we would like you to share your screen. If you can share your screen, it will be Mr. Ismail, you can stop your own so that he will have,
Okay.
yeah.
Try and stop sharing. Perfect. Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Khalid, are you with us? Yeah, we can see your screen, but it seems you are muted. Can you?
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is
Good afternoon.
I'm Hussein. I'm also a student, like every one of us here. So in this presentation, we're talking of how to prepare a stellar statement of purpose or motivation letter, anything you can call it. Statement of purpose, motivation letter, cover letter, personal statement, I think they are directed towards achieving one goal. The admission committee just want to know about you. So now, what are we going to learn now in this slide is we are going to learn what is statement of purpose, the 4 key elements of a stellar SOP, why the analysis of a successful SOP, and how to start writing your own statement of purpose, what you need to do, and what you should avoid when writing your statement of purpose. So now, what is statement of purpose? An SOP is a personal essay that tells the admissions committee who you are, your academic and research journey, and why you choose this field, why the university, and your career goals. So this is just a summary. The admissions committee have already seen your CV and everything. Now they want to hear from you. You tell them what is not there. So now your CV tells the admission committee what you have done. Your transcript demonstrates how you performed. Why your statement of purpose, this particular document, will tell the admission committee why your journey matters, because they want to give you admission. Okay, you have to convince them that, okay, you really need this program to evolve in your own field. So now we have weak but strong opening of an SOP. So generic SOP, the word generic doesn't mean something you copied from ChatGPT or something. Yeah, let me use ChatGPT. I want to say online. The word generic means what people are using. So the admissions committee have seen this multiple times. So yours is nothing different, just like you are just like other people. So this statement, I think is very common. I graduated with a bachelor's degree in computer science. So this is a generic statement and it is very weak. I think you should avoid writing this kind of statement in your SOP. Instead, a better one is my interest in I'm using machine learning, computer science, because that's my area of study. But you can adapt this with your own area of study. So my interest in machine learning began when I developed a model to predict student performance, revealing how data could improve educational outcomes, right? So these statements now cover all this one. I graduated with a bachelor's degree in computer science. This is already written in your CV, so it doesn't have any use in your SOP. So now, what are the 4 key elements of a stellar SOP? When writing an SOP, you need all these 4 things. If you don't have them, then there is problem. The first one here is the hook. The hook is the opening statement, just like my colleague mentioned earlier. So the hook is used to capture the reader's attention from the very first sentence. So before you start writing an SOP, what should come to your mind is, who is going to read this? The admissions committee, what do they like reading? If you are writing an academic essay, so for one academic position, then your essay has to sound academic also, so that they will enjoy reading it. So the hook will capture the reader's attention from the very first sentence. So you see most essays now, they start during when I was a child. I saw my teacher was teaching computer, and I love using computers since when I was a child. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, yes.
That's a very weak opening. In fact, when admissions committees read that first line, they won't go further, automatic rejection, because they don't really believe you. So now supporting elements, they don't know you. Anything you say, you need to find a way to back it up with some claim or concrete evidence. Yeah, and real outcomes. So when you say that I did this, I did that, just like scholar Mahmoud mentioned earlier, you use the STAR approach. So why did you do this? What did you do? What is the result? And what is the impact? Anything you are explaining, you make sure that all these things are there, right? The third one now is the pitch. The pitch now, you are pitching yourself in. Okay, you show your academic preparation and research journey. Here now you are selling yourself to the admissions committee that, okay, this is what I have done so far, and this is how it relates to what I want to do in the future. So that's the pitch. And the last one now is casting your net. So you explain why this university is a perfect fit for your goals. And most mistake people do here, they will like, I like this university because of its strong research potential, because of this, that. That's very wrong. If you want to cast your net, you do it in such a way that when you remove the name of the university there and you put another university, that letter won't be coherent. Just like you said, I want to attend University of Manchester because of a strong research reputation. So you are not really explaining why you are perfect fit for this university, because I can see University of Michigan, Pittsburgh University, all of them have strong research capability. So that's nothing different. So if you want to explain why you need a school or a particular program, you need to be very, very specific, because that paragraph also, if it is generic, then it will harm your application. So these are the 4 key elements. The hook, this is very important. First impression, right? Don't judge a book by its cover. This one you go judge. The next one is the pitch. After you have placed the hook, then you now pitch in. After you have pitched, you now support your pitch with concrete evidence or elements. Just like now you show your academic preparation and research journey. Now your academic preparation, you graduated with a strong results, which is your first class or second class upper or second class lower. And your research journey also, what is the output? The output is research publication or preprint or manuscript in progress. Anyone, that's also a real outcome. We are going to support all this with that. And then finally, you cast your net. So now this, we talk about the hook and the pitch. This is the first element and the second element. Now the hook, this is a good example for the hook. A simple question sparked my passion for applied machine learning. So what is that simple question? Can we leverage data to enhance student outcomes? So this is my pitch for an SOP I wrote for the University of Michigan. So this is the opening statement. A simple question sparked my passion for applied machine learning. You see this one now, hook. So additional committee now, okay, what is that question? Now this is the question. Can we leverage data to enhance student outcomes? So this hook now creates curiosity, it introduces motivation, and leads naturally into my story, right? So the next element now is the pitch. The pitch is you explain your academic background, research projects, technical skills, and publications. Rather than just listing projects, you have to explain how each of these projects shape your research interest or your interest for the program. You have to make this sink in. Your academic background, your research project, technical skills, publication. You have to relate it to the program, how it will help you achieve your goals, right? So the next one now is the evidence and university fits. So you need to show, not just write. You need to show all what you are writing. That's the evidence. You need to back it up with evidence. So now this supporting element, don't just say I am passionate about research. You have to demonstrate it. So in my own SOP or in your SOP, you discuss published journal paper, manuscripts under review, experiments, collaborations, real-world application. Now here you are showing, you're not just writing. You are showing them that you are really interested because they don't know you. You have to show them, right? So now if you want to cast your nets, you connect your research interest with specific faculty. So here now you name, this is a professor, this is another professor, and this is a professor. You explain how each of these professors' research aligns with your own research motivation and also your future goals and how they will help you achieve that. So this is for PhD application where you cast your net using supervisors. When you're applying for a master's program, you cast your net relating your experience and the program, like the courseworks and the coursework, seminars, and projects they will do during the program. You use that to cast your net. So now these are the anatomy of a successful SOP. So every paragraph built on the previous one, creating a narrative act, not a resume. So you have already submitted your resume. You don't need to copy your resume and paste it again in your SOP. They have already seen your CV. They want to see what is not there. They want to know who you are. And all these blocks have to be coherent. You are telling story from your past, present, and future. That's the structure. So now the hook, you introduce your motivation through real compelling question. Why the next one now, you talk about your academic journey, which each research project builds expertise progressively. You explain how your academic journey has prepared you for the program you are trying to apply to. The next one now is evidence of your academic journey. So now you have publications and real world impact backed every claim. Why the next one now is university fit. So you mention specific faculty connection to show genuine alignment, or the courses being taught in the program that will really help your research motivation. Why the final one is your future goals. A clear vision of developing trustworthy AI for healthcare, for instance. So you can't start an SOP with interest in forestry. You have interest in forestry. You now come and talk about your experience in banking and finance and evidence you are supporting this with banking and finance. The university faculty, you are mentioning faculty that are not really relevant to your motivation. And your future goals also. You now, here you talk about forestry, and here you are now talking about banking and finance. So you see your SOP is not coherent. Anything you are doing, make sure the hook, academic journey, evidence, university fit, and future goals, all these must be coherent. Use a single theme. If the theme is not the same, they have to be relevant. They have to be coherent. Once they are not coherent, then your story is just fake. Your application will be discarded. So now, how to start writing your SOP? So the first thing you do when you want to write the SOP, you research about the program. So you have to understand the program and or the faculty deeply before you even start writing anything. You need to know what you want to go and study. Is this program fit for me? Not just I want to leave the country, or just like the previous caller mentioned. You need to study the program before you enter something that you later regret. So the next one now is brainstorming. You list your achievements, projects, and motivations. These are already in your CV. So they are already listed there. So you use your CV also to write your SOP. So outline, now you structure your story using the 4 elements which I mentioned earlier: the hook, the evidence, casting of net, and the pitch. So you use this to structure your story. Now the fourth one now is to focus on clarity and storytelling. You need to focus on clarity and storytelling. How you do this? By meeting scholars to check your SOP and also reviewing them. So the final one now is to revise. You seek feedback and refine multiple times. When you write your first draft without editing, you get your story on paper first. So once you write your SOP, you give experienced scholars to help you review it. So they will give you their own perspective on how to improve the letter. So now, SOP do's and don'ts. What you need to do when writing your SOP, you should be specific and authentic. Don't go and be lying there that you did this, you help Mark Zuckerberg to build Facebook or this or that. You have to be authentic and you have to be specific. Because if you lie, they will eventually know. Now, the next thing is show, don't tell. Show, don't tell. I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that. No. What was the outcome? You need to show them. You need to show everything in written form. Don't just tell them that you are good at this, or you like research, or you like the program. No, you tell them why do you like it. You have to show your motivation in written format. So now you connect your past experiences with future goals. What you have done, you should relate with what you want to do. I think that is the easiest one. And what you did before, if it doesn't relate to what you want to do, you need to have strong motivation for that switch, which sometimes might not be convincing. So now you tailor each SOP to the program. Don't use one SOP and be applying for multiple programs, multiple schools. Doesn't work that way. So now you proofread carefully. You check for grammatical errors and other errors, which can be done by you or other reviewers. So what you should avoid when writing an SOP, you should using of generic templates. You go online, SOP templates, this, that, you copy, paste, avoid this. Repeating of your CV in your SOP is not advisable. You are telling them you are graduated with first class. Your graduation with first class is already in your CV. So why are you mentioning it? Especially when you are writing SOP that have limited space. If you have limited space, that line, I graduated with a first class degree in computer science, doesn't count. It doesn't add anything in your SOP. It's already in the CV. So they'll just keep that line. They want to go to the next, they want to read another thing. You make sure that each line is very, very relevant. So writing of big statements, you don't need to write big statements. Your statements need to be very, very clear, something that if you read, you easily understand. Because some of these people you are writing your essays to, some of them don't really understand all these complex grammars. Don't come and be writing one kind of complex grammars to prove that you can speak English. No, that's not the aim here. So ignoring word limit also, this is very important. You feel like it's just 20 now. They will manage it. No, there is difference with word limit and page numbers. I see some people making mistake, and they ask you to write motivation letter or essay, 500 words, and you say 500 words is automatically one page. No, all these people, they use automated software. Once your essay is more than 500 words, automatic rejection. So you don't submit your SOP without reviewing. You review multiple times before you submit your essay. So now, key
Mr. Khalid, we are
takeaways.
running out of time.
Yeah, I think this is final slide. Key takeaways
Okay.
now. You tell your story. Your SOP is telling a story about you, not resume. So your SOP is a narrative, it's a story. You need to write it using the storytelling style, not like a resume when you just list. And you have to be specific. You name faculty, seminars, projects, and goals explicitly. You need to show evidence. You support claims with publication, projects, and real impact, not just I did. You need to show claims. You need to support what you did, because they don't really know you and they don't believe you. So you start today. You begin with your hook, which is your unique question or moment. So lastly, a well-crafted SOP doesn't just get you admitted. It sets the foundation for your entire graduate school journey. Thank you for this.
Thank you very much, Mr. Khalid, for this wonderful presentation. We really appreciate your efforts. All our scholars have really tried for us today. I'm sorry for having to cut you off at some point due to the fact that time factor is of importance. So naturally, I am supposed to give like a summary of all the discussion here today, but time factor might not permit. So before I give any summary or whatever I want to say, I would like us, if we have any questions, please indicate by raising your hand. You know how to go and click on where you want to raise your hand. And then you direct the question to which presenter it is you want to present to. So far, so good. I have two people, Mr. Faisal Bashir and Mr. Ahmed Abubakar. Mr. Faisal, please, the floor is yours. And please, you do not need to give a narration when you want to ask your question. Be direct as usual. Mr. Khalid, you can stop sharing your screen so that, yeah. Thank you very much. Mr. Faisal, are you with us? Time is not on our side.
Okay, good morning all. Thank you all the presenters. We really appreciate their presentation. So my question goes to Mr. Mahmoud regarding to item to be added in my CV. So I graduated as a good student of our state, but unfortunately up to now we do not do convocation. So I don't know whether I can still add it in my CV as part of the award I received. That's all. Thank you.
Is that okay? Mr. Mahmoud, should I answer or you are available?
All right, Zaid, you can answer, please. Thank you.
Okay, so from my own experience, there will be no need for you to prove that you're a best graduating student, or I would not say there's no need for them to ask. They will not ask you whether you did convocation or not. So from my own experience, since you know you are the best, you should include it there. In my own CV, for example, in an application I did, I wrote that I am the second runner-up. So we have best graduating student in our department. We have another person before me. So I wanted to make sure that at least I mentioned something. There's no position, nothing was given to me. And I didn't want to say I am the third place. You know, the word you use is also important. So I didn't want to say that I'm the third position in my department. So I said I'm the second runner-up. Already that plays a mental game with respect to um, whichever application it is I'm submitting to. So I hope that answers your question. The next person is Mr. Ahmad Abubakar. Please unmute yourself and ask your question briefly.
Yeah, thank you very much. Can you all hear me? Hello?
We can hear you.
Yeah, please, my question goes to Mr. Ismail. It's regarding that cover page letter. Before I ask my question, I would like to use this medium to thank you all. May God bless you and ease all your endeavors. Regarding the cover page letter, like, I don't know, is it for all programs that somebody need to write his cover page letter, or there are some programs that tell us or they demand you that you must write that cover page letter? Thank you very much.
Okay.
Mr. Ismail, did you get the question?
Yes, I understand. He asked,
Okay.
when should we write a cover letter? So normally, if you are applying for, there are different kind of scholarship. If you are applying directly to the university, you are to write either SOP or motivation letter. But if you are on LinkedIn or something, like, you will be seeing professors advertising for position in their research group or lab. So they will ask you to send them an email with your CV and cover letter. So that's only where you write a cover letter. But otherwise, you should stick to your SOP and motivation letter. SOP directly for universities, that's what they ask mostly. While scholarship like Erasmus asks for motivation letter. But if you are using a cover letter, it is when you come across the professor is looking for student, he will post it on his LinkedIn or Twitter. Then he will ask, maybe you should submit your expression of interest or application to his email with a CV and cover letter. So that time you can write a cover letter. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next
What
question
differentiates
is from...
Sorry, sorry. I wanted
Okay.
to get a clarification again from him. I'm sorry for that. Like, what differentiates the cover page letter with cold email? Are they more or less like the same, or what differentiates them really?
Okay, the difference between cover letter and cold email is that cover letter, it is asked by the professor, he or she will post his position funding. Maybe he will post on his LinkedIn that he has a position for one PhD student or master student beginning for 2027. And he will ask, okay, interested student to send their application to his email using CV and cover letter. While cold email is, you in particular, you will go to a university profile, check all the professors that are active in the department, and you contact those that are working in the same like area with you. You ask them, okay, you come across their research on this and that. You would like to express your interest to work with them. If they have any funded position available, you can you will be happy to have a call or interview with them during their availability. So that's call email. Normally, call email is used to secure a supervisor, but cover letter is like used when you want to apply for a specific advertised position, and usually you see them on LinkedIn. Thank you.
To buttress on that point, one thing you need, sometimes when you are applying for, let's say you write a cover letter and the CV, when you're sending it, it's through a mail. So you also need to give a short introduction before you attach those documents. So that short introduction on its own can look like a cold email, but not necessarily a cold email. It has to be short and direct as well. So I believe that answers your question. We have Barka Abbas Maladi. Can you unmute yourself, please, and ask your question?
Thank you so much. Can you hear me actually?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Actually, I was unable to with the president throughout some of the session because of my network issues. Because of my network issues. So my question here is, I don't know whether the issue of research proposal has been discussed throughout the presentation.
No, we did not discuss research proposal. Maybe in another session. If time permits us, we'll be able to do that. Yes.
So there's no point putting my question.
You might just have to direct the question. You can ask in the group. If there is anybody that can assist you, then we'll be able to do that. But for now, I don't think anybody will be able to. You might ask a question that might confuse others. You understand? Since that's not what the presentation is about.
Okay, thank you so much.
And we also have a recording, so in case you need to rewatch, you can also watch. Thank you very much. We have Mujahid Bello. Can you quickly ask your question before we give a closing summary? Time is not on our side. Mujahid Bello, please unmute yourself. Mujahid Bello. Mr.
Please, am
Bakari,
I
can
audible?
you? Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, thank you for your wonderful question. My question goes to Mr. Mahmoud. I'm asking, please, how many pages is required for academic CV, and also if someone has like more than plenty pages, what is the technique can I use to like shorten my CV to like make it 1 or 2 pages? That's my question. Thank you.
Mahmoud?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I don't know. Can you answer it, Zaid?
Okay, then. So from my experience, when it comes to CV, some scholarships will tell you how many pages they want. Now, another thing I used to do is anytime I'm applying for a scholarship, I always make sure I look for a scholar in that place. It's when we do not have a scholar that I will now use the general information I've learned from others. But generally, I always look for a scholar in an institution I'm applying, and I try to get to contact them. I ask them questions like this as well. For example, now in France, for example, if you're applying through through Campus France, you would see that many of them will tell you your CV should not exceed 2 pages, and they also want you to use a Europass format. So you can see that alone is. Then if you're applying to maybe King Fahad, most of the people that have applied that I know of used 2 pages maximum, and some used 3 pages, and they also got in. So you see, those are the kind of things and that asking questions can guide you to. There is no specific formula as to the number of pages, just that if you're applying to Europe, it is preferred you use your Europa CV. If you're applying elsewhere outside of Europe, you can use the standard latex, or you can even use a Word CV if you are good in formatting your Word documents. So all those kind of things are important as well. I don't know if I have answered your question.
Yeah, okay. I would like to add something, please, Zaid.
Okay.
And like I think number of CV shouldn't actually like worry people, because most of the scholarships, if there's a scholarship opening, if there's a scholarship call, there's the requirement needed. And mostly in the requirements, there's still the number of CV, like number of pages for the CV. Most of the time there's that. So I think that's not a problem. And as Zaid said, you can ask scholars and find information. But the ideal number of pages usually is 2 pages. That's the most ideal number of pages for scholarship application, but it might exceed that depending on the requirements. So thank you.
So I'll take one more question. We have Mr. Suleiman Mustafa. Can you unmute yourself? Please
Thank you so much,
wait for my
presenters.
closing. I have a closing summary for this presentation. And it's only those that stayed behind that would enjoy it. Yes, please ask your question.
Okay, thank you so much, presenters. My question goes to Mr. Mahmoud regarding the CV for KFUTM. I received a conflicting advice that someone recommended Europass CV for me for the FPPM application. So I want clarification. Is it an official preference over against Europass, or it depends on the department? Thank you.
What? Somebody
Well,
look at you? That's interesting. Zaid, what can you say about that?
it's a dangerous move. That's my honest experience. Now, I know somebody who used a Europa CV and got into Kim Fahad, but I will not advise you to do that. Is that, and the reason is because his profile was exceptionally outstanding. I don't know if you get my
Wow.
point. He
Yeah.
had everything that they wanted, and they could not reject at that point. So he used a Europass and he excelled. How do you call the word? He he was able to pass. My first application for King Fahd was a Europass CV, and I didn't even get to the interview stage. So you see, the experiences are different. Now, majority of the people that got into King Fahd that I know of did not use Europass CV. So if you want to be an exception, fine and good. But I strongly advise you not to. That is
And I
my
think
honest.
King Fahd is not in Europe, right? Europe CB is mostly for European universities. King Fahd is in the Asian side.
Exactly.
I don't. So
Exactly. So
it's not a good idea actually.
yeah. So with this, we have come to the end of our session. Mr. Suleiman, I'm sure we have asked your question. We have answered you to a good extent. Now, in summary, I would like to we have 5 minutes before we call it a day. I would like to use that to give us a detailed summary of my experiences and also what I understand from the presentation so far. Now, with respect to the CV application, due to time factor, Mr. Mahmoud was not able to take us through all the steps, and then there were some errors which, by God's grace, we'll be able to rectify on that. Now, there are a few things that have assisted me with respect to CV, which I would like to tell us here as well. I would not be, I would like to emphasize on the application of that situation, task, action, result. And then there's also something that he subtly said, which I would like to emphasize on it as well, which is the use of metrics. Metrics is adding numbers into your CV. It is very, very important. Now, what I did when I was applying my own is I took the prompt that Mr. Mahmoud gave us last year is very similar to this year's one. I took the prompt. I had already designed a CV to my own experience. I used Claude. I would advise us to use Claude for CVs. Now, I used Claude and I uploaded my CV and the prompt, and then it gave me a breakdown and with some explanations. What I now did again, the next step, which is the most important step, is I took a CV of somebody who had already mastered CV summary and analysis. He had already done his CV to a very good standard. I now took his CV and then I now told Claude that this is an example of somebody who has used the STAR approach that I'm telling you to use for me. So please, I need you to do that. And I also need you to add some metrics. So I did that. And then ChatGPT, Claude gave me a very, very good breakdown. Now, it's not as if sometimes you do not upload just the CV entirely at once. You can copy just the research experience maybe, or the project aspect, or you understand, all those kind of things are important. You copy them one by one. And then you also copy from the example of the one you have, and then you tell GPT, okay, this person has used STAR approach, and this is what he got. I want you to refine my own, I also make a STAR approach. Now, I also give an advice that when it comes to bullet points on CVs, try and make sure you do not exceed 3 bullet points per each point. For example, you have 2 or 3 different researches under your research experience. Under each one, make it 2 or 3 and just give precise and direct impact that you had with respect to that research. If it's a project you contributed in, you can also include that as well. I am sure are we all hearing me, or are we hearing what I'm saying? So I believe what I'm saying is important. Please and please do not forget, in CV, you should make sure you use metrics, and you should make sure you use STAR approach. Now, another important thing is I always have 3 different, what I call my master CV. It's not just one master CV. I have 3 different master CVs. Now, one of them is a latex format, which we have seen how to use it in Overleaf. The second one is a Europass format. It's also a master CV. And then the third one is a Word CV. like a formatted Word CV. Now, for those who know me and those who joined this scholarship community through me can testify to the fact that anybody who joins through me, I tend to give them some CVs as examples. And I'll just tell you, this CV has already been formatted the right way. All you need to do is convert it to Word format, put in your own information, and then save it back as a PDF. That's one thing I do, and everybody here can testify. So that is an important thing. Your master CV should not just be one, it should be up to 3, and all of them should be in this format. Now, it's from this master CV now that you tailor it for each application. Like Mr. Mahmoud also said, you copy the details of the scholarship, paste it on any AI you are using. Then you also put that CV and then tell it, if you are to tailor, what I do is I do not put my CV all at once. Like I said, I copy my research experience and I'll put it there. I'll tell it, does this research experience tally? Which one of them tally? Like I said, you have a master CV. Which one of them tally? Which one should I edit to tally? You know, all those kind of questions. That's what I ask GPT. It will now give you. And then you now make sure you keep telling it. If you are not using pro account of these AI, you need to keep reminding them, please use my star approach for me. You understand? So I believe we have gotten some of these ideas with respect to CV. Now, with respect to letter, SOPs, cover letters, we have already seen examples from Mr. Ismail. He gave us one good example of a cover letter, which is very important. Now, for SOPs, I use 5 bullet points, which Mr. Khalid also gave us that. He said you have the hook section, you have the academic journey, you have the evidence, you have university fit, and your future goals. Now, what the first paragraph of your SOP is the most important part of your SOP, to be very honest with you. It gives the whoever is checking your SOP to tell them whether they should continue or not. So what I do in my SOPs is I pick the interest of the professor I'm trying to work with. You know, they said university fit, you go and mention a professor you're trying to work with. So what I do is I go through the university, I study the professors, and then I see their research interest. Now, I convert that research interest into a problem statement. When I convert it into a problem statement, then I personalize it. So I will now personalize it and make it the statement to look like a problem I've been trying to solve since when I was small. Or I will find a way, for example, now in computer science, now maybe growing up, you saw how the inefficiency of some applications, blah, blah. I'm sure you guys understand what I'm saying. For example, now in my own CV, in my own SOP, sorry, for one of the applications, what I did was I'm into like mechatronics, robotics, and all of that. I noticed that the man was talking about the research professor of the professor I wanted to work with. He was talking about maybe how to use autonomous systems, human interaction with robots. That's one important thing he mentioned in his research history. And then I now went back and I noticed, and he also talked about agricultural robotics. So I went to my problem statement and I said, growing up in Nigeria, I noticed how inefficiencies in application of intelligence systems affected productivity. So you see, that statement alone will keep whoever is reading hooked into my application. I believe all of us are getting 1 or 2 points from here. So that is one important thing I said I will try my best to mention here. So please and please, let's take note of that. That first paragraph of an SOP or personal statement will determine whether whoever is reviewing your documents will continue. Now, anybody who reads a statement like what I just said, for example, now in PTDF, for example, what I now said was, in PTDF, what I said was, I'm looking forward to, what word did I use? Okay, I said how inefficiency in application of intelligence systems can be used to reduce pipeline vandalism, all those kind of words. So those are the kind of approaches you need to mention. Your first paragraph is the most important in all these applications. So with this, I would like to bring us to an end to this wonderful masterclass. I would like to thank our presenters. And by God's grace, we're going to have like a recording for those who were not able to join us from beginning so that they can go through it. So I believe with what everybody has said and with this short summary I have given, it can able to assist us in terms of tailoring our applications to fit into the scholarship requirements. Thank you very much for everyone who was able to be part of us. So yeah, we can start taking our leave. And please be attentive in the group. We have other presentations that are coming up, other masterclass. Thank you very much and see you guys another day.